Welcome everybody. Today's Erev Shabbos Parshas Kedoshim. In Israel it's already a Meir, but in Chutzlar it's Parshas Kedoshim. Kedoshim means should be holy. Should be holy because I am holy. What does it mean to be holy? So we'll soon see, we'll talk about it a little bit. So I want to start with the idea of holiness in the whole person, but an interesting, a very fascinating idea that the second pasuk in the parsha says Kedoshim to you, and the pasuk that means the second one, and the one pasuk before the last pasuk also says that it should be holy. The Yisem Likdation should be to be holy. So we see first of all the name of the parsha is being to be holy, so that means that's the whole nukud of the parsha. We're talking about some terrible things over there, but everything is attached to the idea of just to stay away, but I'm saying, but not only to be good, to be normal, but to be holy. And when he's talking about normal things, that terrible things that a person shouldn't do, commit adultery, etc., etc. So I'll come in a little bit from a different angle and have a few questions, and then we'll try to answer at least the main point. Talking about a person's perception, to be holy becomes not only externally what you're doing is to be good and holy. And the person should be a holy person. That means his perception, his intellectual perception, his emotional perception, his premise of his life. What we see with that, mainly what I think what's mainly the idea of being holy, that has to be connected with that idea. So let's start with a question like that in perception, what we're all dealing, especially lately, what's happening in yesterday. We tell a person like that something bad happens to him, so that we tell him Gam Zulateva. Nachamish Gam said that's also for the good. And we're telling him that it's not only for good, it's a higher goodness. It's a higher goodness than the revealed goodness. Okay? So number one, we're telling him it's for the good. He says, okay, it's for the good, let it be revealed good. So we tell him, no. It's a higher level than the revealed good. It's called Teva Ne'elam. It's a concealed good. And why is it not revealed good? Because it's too high to be revealed. Like something, an idea is too high to be understanding it. So here it's too high to be revealed good. So therefore, that explains the halacha. What the Gemara said in the halacha, just like you bless the Eibishter, thank the Eibishter on good. The opposite, same thing to bless the Eibishter, and the Shem, the Rambam said that we do be besimcha v'tuv, just like you blessing the Eibishter on good, revealed good with joy and happiness. Same thing on bad. Why? Because really you're getting here something that you couldn't get in a revealed good. Okay, so let's get it right. In other words, if you could get it in the revealed good, why should you thank the Eibishter for giving you in a concealed good? Give me in a revealed good. So the answer is no. The Teiv Hanelam, the concealed goodness, comes from a higher level, much higher. I would even use the word infinitely higher than the revealed good. And therefore, you have to realize that Ein Rayer Melman, there's no bad coming, and it's a Shayeh Avavai Yechiach, whoever Hashem loves, he's rebuking him, as the Marshal the Alter Rebbe is giving, and the king washes his only child, and it's painful when he's washing him because it's very durous, so it's painful. So if the child is clever, not going to be upset of his father and look for somebody to talk his father, the king, out of it. He shouldn't do it to him. No, he appreciates that. And forget it. You see, there's a deeper love from his father to him, and that reveals a deeper love from him. So now comes the question: if everything is so good, so we're saying the halacha is if a person has not revealed good, and it's the opposite in a revealed way, then he has a biblical commandment to ask God to make it reveal good. Doesn't make sense. You just internalize this gamzul table. That's what's for the good. Everything Hashem does, as Rabbi Kiva said, is for the good. And it's not only it's for the good, it's a higher good than the revealed good. How could you be expected now? Let's say you took it seriously. So you thank the Eibishter with simcha, with good, with joy, with good heart. Then you have a mitzvah to ask the Eibishter to be revealed good. why should you lose the advantage of being concealed good? Why, and therefore, that means the Torah agrees that's not an ideal situation, that you have to now ask, and therefore is commanding you to ask for revealed good. Why? I have such a fantastic situation. That would be one question. Another, something you see, and that has to be in the whole DNA of the person has to something doesn't make sense here. Now, another important point to realize here that the idea everything is for the good, and there is no bad coming from heaven. You're allowed to say it, and you should say it only for yourself, not for somebody else. Somebody else should be wrong if you say it. On somebody else, to see it is completely is no good. Okay, so that is only for yourself. But still, on yourself, if you have not revealed good, you have a mitzvah, biblical mitzvah, to ask the Eibishter to make it reveal good. Right? And then you have bitochen to be that is for the good, and then it will become revealed good. Why should it be revealed good? If the hidden good, the concealed good is higher than the revealed good. Now, another question we could ask. It says that the Eibishter, when a Jew suffers, the Eibishter suffers with us, right? But the Eibishter, we went to Golus, the Shekhinah went to Golus with us. When a Jew suffers, the Eibishter suffers with him. Not only suffers with him, he suffers even more than you're suffering. And he wants you should have it good more than you want to have it. And the same thing we'll talk about in the Anosia Day, right? The Moshe Rabbeinu was with the Jewish people with Zexera. He was fighting it. Now, how could the Eibishter feel bad and Moshe Rabbeinu feel bad and fight? The challenge is, did not reveal good when he knows that is really Gamzulateva, it's good. And not only it's good, it's a better good that you couldn't get it in a different way. Like the example given that it gives you to schlep 2 bags of diamonds that are very heavy. So reveal good, it looks like you're schwitzing and it's pouring you and your muscles are hurting. But the one who gave it to you know that's revealed good. If he gave you less, you would have less. So it's giving you something that's the way to have it. So how can the Eibishter feel bad when he knows he's giving you a good that? And same thing, Moshe Rabbeinu did not say there. How come he's suffering with us, and he knows how it is good? Let's take another example, a simple example in the idea of, let's say a person is doing well. Kedoshim is doing well. He's healthy, he's wealthy, everything is going fine for him. Then he became very arrogant. And because he's arrogant is to his friends for sure, to other people. Then it affects something negatively to his children. He's not so sensitive to his children. Maybe could be even there's harm to his Shalom Bayis. He becomes very arrogant. Now he had a problem, challenge. What should he tell himself? Why did he have any problem? So he said, very simple. I was arrogant. So the Rebbe now wants to make me humble. So therefore, now he's expected to understand, to thank the Eibishter for that. Just to thank the Eibishter and reveal good, is to thank the Eibishter for the problem, because that is going to fix you up. It's like having an operation. It's like having an injection. Not to go to hurt you, to make you better. And he becomes humble. So how could you tell him if he feels that he couldn't handle the abundance of goodness? And therefore he had to get a knock, have a challenge. So how could you expect him not to ask the Eibishter to make him back? Everything should be good, reveal good. Maybe it'll become bad again. Okay, so obviously we understand now that there has to be a situation where it's not become bad again. Okay, so maybe that fix it up. So let's see what. Okay, now when we're talking about be holy, so the Ramban, Rashi learns be holy, to stay away from negative things, from sins. That's how you be holy. The Jew stays away from Averos and doesn't mitzvah. That's how he's holy. However, Nachbanadis says that there's a mitzvah kaddish atzmacha b'mutalach, to sanctify yourself even in things that you're allowed to have. Even things that you're allowed to have, right? It's 100% kosher, mahadrin min mahadrin. Just you should still be Kaddish Atzmach, you should sanctify yourself in what, even if it's hard, and to stay away from it. And the Alter Rebbe also says that in Tanya. Right. So the question comes here. So we're telling you that in everything in your life, right, that's 100% Mahadrin and Mahadrin, a vacation Mahadrin, really Mahadrin, I'm not talking about just joking Mahadrin, really Mahadrin. And everything that you do has to be Kaddish Atzmach, have to be sanctify yourself from Dvorim HaMutarim. Why? Especially that the Gemara says, Dayecha, it's enough, enough that the Torah forbidden you. Why you have to now stay away from things that are mutar? The question becomes stronger. Shabbos is a mitzvah of Einik Shabbos to have good food and enjoy the food. And then there's a mitzvah to work and to earn a living. And the Rebbe said that in our generation, everybody have to be rich, begashmis uberuchnis. If you want to say Kaddish Atzmach, that you have to be sanctified, Kedoshim is to be aloof, to be removed, not indulging. How does it go together? That you have to. The Beis Hamikdash was built from gold and silver, from the most ultimate beauty and good things. Then there's an interesting contradiction in the Gemara. The Gemara says that if Amoritz means somebody is completely indulged in material and physical things. Also, lechel basar is not allowed to eat meat. Maybe today the people who are on diet against eating meat maybe like this sentence, this statement. On the other hand, it says if a person has something that he could eat and it'll be good for him, healthy for him. So also little asadin, he'll be judged. Why didn't you eat it? So we have to understand. Do we have to stay away from it? And that here say Kaddish Atzmach b'mutala. That even if it's mutar, how do we put it together? In other words, what I'm trying to say that here this Parsha is telling you to a paradox, completely lifted the person to become a holy person and says Ki Kodesh Ani, because I'm holy, and Kedoshasi L'mayla, my holiness is higher than your holiness, and then others say Kedoshasi L'mayla, my holiness comes from your holiness. Our holiness is like the Eibishter. So it means there has to be a shift, a complete quantum shift, change, completely in the pneumius and completely in his complete being. And interesting that Rashi doesn't take that direction. He says just stay away from Aver. So when we have to go by Rashi's pshat, just stay away from Aver mitzvahs. And when we have to go with Ramban's pshat, let's stay away from Mutalach. Then it's not revealed good. So then he's asking the Eibishter. The Rebbe said everybody has to do whatever they can to be well to begashmas uberuchnis. We'll take another example. When it's say the thread that goes through the parsha is that idea of the quantum shift, completely changing the 180 degree in the deepest level of the person. Let me take an example. Okay. It says Kedoshim, says Rashi, that it says in Hakel told it to the whole Jewish nation. Why? Because the majority, Reiv Gufei Teira, the majority of the body of Teira, of all the mitzvahs, is dependent on that. How is it dependent on that? It may be holy. What is the connection? Okay, so let's try to. Now, there's another interesting mitzvah here that shows this again, the same thread, the same Briach HaTichon, the screw that goes in the middle of the Mishkan. There was a thing that came into all the Kedoshim, all the beams, whatever something that's called a Briach HaTichon. Something in every idea, in every parsha to find the Briach HaTichon, the inner thread that goes through the whole thing. So here's the idea of Kedoshim to you. The mitzvah love you, follow Jew like yourself is in our parsha. And the Rashi brings the Rabbi that that's a great principle. Practically, it's not possible for a person to love somebody else. The Ramban says it. It's not possible to really love somebody else like yourself. And here we're saying that, okay, so he's saying in a practical way to behave like that. But again, we see that the demand here, the mitzvah of Kedoshim Tiyu, is you should become a holy person. And a holy person, I would like to be able to live in contradiction. Every system is not handling contradictions because, and therefore he has advantage, disadvantage. In Torah, every idea has to handle contradiction. As it says in the 13 for Heidu, 13 attribute. The snake swimming of Christians as if two verses are contradicting one each other. So we wait to have a third person that will Machriya will bring it together, not Machriya to decide one way or another, bring them together. Okay, so going back to the main idea of Kedoshim, the idea of if a person is involved in Gashmis, Chassidus explains as follows. Every physical thing has the physical existence of the idea, and then there's the life, the godly life that creates it. Especially if it's alive, it is the godly life that makes it alive. It says, look, I put in front of you the good and the bad. Life and death. So Chassidus explains, when you approach something because has godliness in it, the spiritual aspect of that, the godly aspect of that, and that's the real life of it. And that's forever. That's the spark of atoms that you take in and it comes to you and elevates you. That's tave, that's good, and that's life. If you're relating to the material, to the physical, the coarse material thing, then it's bad because physical, and it's dead because physical by itself, without the life of godliness, if you focus on the physical, means you're ignoring the godliness because you cannot take to be involved in completely in earthly things, in material things, in physical, completely engrossed in coarse things, and then at the same time be with godliness. It doesn't go together. So b'meila, therefore, when we're saying that a person has to be holy, what means to be holy? It means you're completely permeated with godliness. And then what is the approach? So the approach is that he's wants the godliness of the idea, not without the physical. You can have the physical, like in the Beis Hamikdash, there was the most beautiful things, unbelievable things. In the Mishkan in the Beis Hamikdash, the tabernacle, and the Jewish people built with so much gold and silver, so much art and so much talent was given there. In the Beis Hamikdash even more. But he saw godliness in it. So in other words, you have three people. Let's take it. You have a person that's completely indulged in physical things. Completely, Gashmis, that means everything to him, from beginning to the end, that's what he wants, material things. His fault is not his fault, we're not going in that direction now. But we're saying he's completely, his whole life, his whole heart and mind is involved in what? In the Kedoshim, in the shoes, in material things, in physical things. He does not appreciate spiritual things. Then you have another person who's completely a spiritual person. Say he's a holy man, he's a Porush, he's separate from Gashmis. He completely is involved in learning and davening and helping people and doing good things, not indulging in any kind of desire. Whatever he wants, he's staying away from it. Is that the ideal? This what we said, no. That's a approach. As we said, that you have to get involved, you have to work, right? And you have to have Einik Shabbos. So what does it mean? You have to come to a place, to a level where you have the physical thing, you eat good food on Shabbos, and it could be every day Shabbos also. But what do you see in it? You see the God that will help you to learn better, to daven better, to be in a good mood, to be nice to your family, to be in a good mood to help somebody else. So that is already a contradiction. As the Rabbi said, you have to be rich, but do it in the right way. In other words, it shouldn't be like this, that because you have, as the Rambam said, if you have too much material things, you'll become fat, become coarse, become foolish. And the Rambam says that's the reason why Jewish people have suffered through history, because although they shouldn't fall into the trap. So our avoid is to come not only the idea of staying away from Gashmis. The first step is to stay, called is kafir, to stay away from Gashmis. If you're involved completely in Gashmis, you have to stay away a little bit, a lot. But then the ultimate is not to stay there. The ultimate is to come to a place where you could do the Gashmis, completely see it as a vehicle for godliness. As it says, as Beit Noah, a nice house with kelim Noah, with nice furniture. Marchiv and broadens his brain in a positive way, in learning Torah, in doing mitzvahs, in helping other people. The Rebbe said we see it practically, even so he made fun of it, that people are going on vacation and schlepping on to the bungalow colonies, everything, they squeeze themselves into a smaller house. But when they come back, they're in a better mood and they give more tzedakah. So again, so the idea is to come to a place where you could have your Gashmis. Like it says, Rabbi Kodesh, he had everything. And he said, I never had any enjoyment from the physical world, even like my small pinky. So there's two pshat. Some said that he never ate, he gave all the good things for other people, he didn't for himself. Some said he ate, but he didn't enjoy it. He saw only the spark of godliness, and he said, the Gemara says that as I didn't eat, one of the Amoraim said, I did not eat meat today, therefore I couldn't say my Kedoshim like normally when after I have the meat. So by him, it's completely a vehicle for spirituality. What did they see in the Gashmi? It's completely a mean to an end for being. That means it's holy, not holy. So there's a holiness, you stay away from it. But the deeper level of holiness that you see the holiness in the Gashmis and you transform that into Gashmis. And you see the godliness in it. Now let's go to the idea, what we asked, let's see how this maybe is connected also, that the person has to know, as I said, he had everything good, but he became arrogant. He became coarse. It brought him into, he thought that the I'm so clever and I'm so brilliant, I'm such a capable guy, and I did it. And he forgets a little bit about the Eibishter. Then comes the problem. So he realized, no, that's coming from the Eibishter. He becomes humbler, he appreciates more the Eibishter. So now he could come to a point where he thanks the Eibishter for the challenges. So why are you telling him? How could you tell him now that the commandment, the biblical commandment that you should daven, it should be revealed good? He saw revealed good wasn't good for him. It was dangerous for him. It made him, it ruined his life. You see a story that there was a poor man, nice, good Jew, and he won in the raffle like a few $1 million, whatever he won. And he started to get telephones from everybody, from friends and from relatives and from yeshivas and from institutions. Everybody wanted his money. For a few days, he didn't know what's happening with him. He went over to one yeshiva, he gave him the whole money. He said, take the whole money, let me live in peace. In other words, the concept that yesh eisher shamur le'ba'olav l'rosi, it's a pasuk. There is sometimes richness intellectual, could be emotional richness, could be talent, could be money, could be everything. Richness is not only means in one aspect. And it's kept for the honor of that against him. It's doing against him, it's doing him more damage than good. So how could you ask him to have bitochen and he should trust in the Eibishter to be revealed good? And has a biblical mitzvah to ask the Eibishter. Why should he ask the Eibishter if you know that could be not good for him? So the explanation by Parshas, I would think, is that what is asking the Eibishter, not the Eibishter wanted should be good to reveal good. Why is the Eibishter not giving him reveal good? Because now it's not good for him. But the Eibishter wanted should be revealed good in a way that not only that you should have that hidden goodness, that higher level of goodness that is hidden in the not revealed good, in the challenges, you should have that in a revealed good way. In other words, not only the richness should not put him down, but he should be able to stay in his level 100%. And not only that, should lift him into a higher level. The richness. So again, not only the richness should not do any damage to him. So what is davening today? Not davening only give me the money back and then I promise you I'll be fine. I'll forget about the minute to turn things around, will turn good. No, the davening means tefillah means to connect with the Eibishter, to ask the Eibushter to internalize that I should be in a level where I could handle the goodness that is now coming to me in a way of challenges, not the real good. I should be able to have it in a revealed good way. And not only the revealed good, I should be able to handle that. I should have even much more than that. I should have, in other words, in the revealed good, should be not only to be able to handle that you shouldn't ruin him, you should be able to handle what is in the concealed good. Concealed good, what it means not revealed good, but that not only should handle that, but should take him to a much higher level. But that means the Kedoshim to you. When you become completely holy, removed from material, from physical, then you're not limited to have a challenge. Then you could handle it in a revealed good. And that's what the Rabbi wants from us. And says, especially our generation. As I said, the Rambam said the majority of generation of Eden did not have revealed good. Now we are in a generation where even so we are lower on the shamas and we are more darkness, but we are in a situation today because the deeper level of the essence of the neshama is revealed through all the generations. We are like a midget standing of a giant. That we could today have richness in all aspects, in intellect, emotion, talents, money, everything. And not only shouldn't put us down, that you should put you higher, that you become more connected, to more trust the Eibushter, and more completely see the Eibushter in everything. To a point where the Rabbi said that every house should be a Beis Chabad. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. What means to be a Beis Chabad? To learn, to daven, to have guests, to give tzedakah, to have achnasah. Okay, everybody is doing it. What does it mean? What did the Chassidus with the Rabbi to become a Beis Chabad? So the explanation is, when you look on a shul, you see a shul. Either is a bracha room there, and there is a garden, and there is toys for the kids, and there's maybe even a place for the bane, right? And there's a kitchen, and there is a bathroom. Could be that everything else together is bigger than the shul, but you see a shul. The same when you look on your house is a Beis Chabad, is a house of spreading Yiddishkeit, of helping other Jews. That you told us. 1,000 Chabadahs, 2,000 Chabadahs, whatever, 3,000 Chabadahs. What is the Chabadahs? Of course, the family lives there. But the whole thing is for revealed that they should reveal good and help other people. So the only reason what he sees in everything, what is it? Everything doing in a way that be able to help Jewish people in their needs, begashmis, physical needs and spiritual needs. Now we cannot say if somebody doesn't have revealed good because he cannot handle it. Could be this. Everything has different ways. Could be different shlichus of that neshama what he needs. But in general, we are living in a generation where madanim keofer, you could say, pleasurable things. When you're going to the shop, there's pleasurable things. Like when I was a child, there wasn't such a thing. Why? So I'm not saying that you have to eat all the sweets because it's not healthy, not because that you don't want you to enjoy yourself. But it's a situation of today we have probably one of the best lives in history. Why? But we could handle it. Not only we shouldn't come down Mitzrayim, but we should become better. That the house should be a Beis Chabad. And that's what the Rebbe said, that everyone, I know that not everybody likes to hear it, the Rebbe said. Spitz Chabad doesn't like to hear it, he said. But I'm saying it anyway. Every Jew is a shliach of the Eibushter, and if the Rebbe did not say that, the Rebbe said clearly. That's where you have to see yourself. And therefore, everything that you have and everything that's happening to you is in a way a system to help you to do complete your shlichus, what you have to accomplish. Therefore, we're seeing that if holiness means that you have like be a Beis Hamikdash. Every house, and the Rebbe said, if you make your Beis Chabad, your house a Beis Chabad, then the Mashiach will come and take all these shuls to Eretz Yisrael. Your house will come with because your house is a Beis Chabad. I have a bedroom there. All these things is what we need in order to be able to help people. We heard about a certain lady, Mrs. Robashkin in Bopa. She had only one set of linen. Why? Whenever somebody used to give him a present, another set of linen, she found it in a day or two. She found somebody that needs it, and she gave it to him. I'm not saying that that's for everybody at that level, but they're just saying that she ordered from my wife, Aunt Winnie Gloria, a whole bunch of string of pearls. So she really asked her, why do you need 10 strings of pearls? She said she was in Tzfas because she has children over there. And she saw in Shul 10 ladies, or there are a few ladies in Shul, there's more, who don't have a string of pearls Shabbos in Shul. So she wants to give each one a string. So why, if they don't have a string of pearls, they also have challenges in food also. So look, food somebody will give them. But a string of pearls, nobody will give us. I have to give them. So she bought 10 strings of pearls, and I will give. So the Rebbe should give her this ultimate string of pearls of in the Beis Hamikdash in Kedoshim. So now Mamish will be the ultimate possession in Beis Hamikdash. Now, B'tech Klal Yisrael, Mashiach now. Shabbos and Kol Tuv, Mashiach now.